Hi, I'm Sarah St. Hamilton, and I'm the Director of Social Support Services for the Care Center. Welcome. We're so excited you've chosen to learn more about brain health as it relates to Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. By pressing play, you've shown your dedication to improving the quality of life for yourself, family members, friends, and your community. Let's learn about another modifiable risk factor, sleep health. Seems so simple, yet so many of us, myself included, do not always find ourselves prioritizing our sleep health. Sleep is crucial to good health, but also reduces your risk for dementia. Sleep is kind of a strange thing when you think about it. Every night, our brains make our senses shut down and leave us in a pretty vulnerable position, just lying there, largely unaware of our surroundings. Our ancestors would have been vulnerable to attack while sleeping, yet our bodies still force us to do it. If we go too long without sleep, our bodies will quite literally shut down. So what's so important about sleep for our health and our survival? Sleep is a biological process during which almost every part of our body works on restoring itself. And that includes our brains. There are several phases of sleep, and we cycle through all of them a few times on most nights. Both rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep, and non-REM sleep are important for our brains. As we age, our sleep habits tend to change. In fact, lots of older people report having a harder time sleeping than they did when they were younger. Take a few seconds to think about your own sleeping habits. Have you noticed a change, or have they typically remained the same? Let's test your knowledge on sleep health. I mentioned that older people report having a harder time sleeping than when they were younger. But what about sleep duration? Do you think older people also tend to get less hours of sleep than younger people? I bet you probably said yes, older adults get less sleep. Take a look at this graph. It shows changes in both REM and non-REM sleep over time. So looking at this, you'd probably agree that this is true. But I'd like you to look more closely at the ages shown in the graph. In fact, let me help make that clearer. Our graph starts at 1 to 15 days of life, so newborns. Infants and very young children sleep considerably more than adults. That said, let's isolate the part of our graph starting around age 30. Now look at the line. Surprising, right? It's not that the total number of hours of sleep changes when we get older, it's that when we get sleepy changes. Due to changes in our ability to produce melatonin, the hormone that makes us feel sleepy, older people tend to get tired earlier in the day and wake up earlier in the morning. One reason that older people might feel like they get less sleep than they did when they were younger is because when we get tired earlier in the day, we often rely on naps to help us feel alert for longer. But most of us forget to count our nap as sleep time, and it very much is. So what does sleep do for us? The brain of someone with Alzheimer's disease is physically smaller because that brain has accumulated damage to its cells. When we live our lives from day to day, we're exposed to all sorts of things that can cause damage to our brains, from air pollution to unhealthy foods. These things can physically change and damage our brains. If our brains are basically networks of clear highways for us to send information traffic, you can think of the damage kind of like potholes on the highway. And when's the best time to repair potholes? Probably not during rush hour. There's less traffic in the brain while we sleep. We shut down our senses, there isn't a whole lot of new information coming in, and it's really the perfect time for our brains to repair some of the damage that happened during the day. During sleep, our brains build new connections and strengthen existing connections that we use often. Have you ever learned a new skill and then dreamed about it? That's because your brain was working on that information and changing its structure to accommodate it. So let's reflect for a minute. Some aspects of sleep can change with age, but adults of all ages are still capable of clocking enough hours of sleep to benefit brain health and function. So how can we make the most of our sleep time? By focusing on something called sleep hygiene. Good sleep hygiene is important to good brain health. Generally, there are a few tips we can adopt to achieve our best sleep. Sleep researchers suggest we do things like limit usage of electronic devices and technology before bed, because the light from these devices can trick our brains into thinking it's still daytime, and that makes us feel like it's time to be awake. Make your bedroom quiet and relaxing. Keep the room at a comfortable, cool temperature. Develop a relaxing bedtime routine. That can mean engaging in a set of activities that you perform every night in the same order, right before bed. For example, you might brush your teeth, floss, and then wash your face. It can even include activities like reading, taking a warm bath, journaling, or meditation. Try to set a bedtime and keep a consistent sleep schedule. Do your best to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends and vacations. We want to strive for at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Try to avoid large meals, sugary beverages, caffeine, and alcohol about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. And if you are hungry at night, try to eat a light, healthy snack. And finally, try to only lay in your bed when you're trying to sleep. This helps your brain learn that when you're in bed, it's time to sleep and can help you to get to sleep faster. Good sleep and sleep hygiene are important across our lifespan, but especially as we age. You've now learned about how sleep patterns tend to change as we age and ways to modify your overall sleep health to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. We encourage you to utilize the tips from this video to achieve your best sleep hygiene.